Hi, everybody, which is actually an answer to one of the questions, but seeing all the blog voices going around on all the blogs the past week or so, I think it's been resurrected about a week ago by Lady Katza over at Peanut Butter Macrame. I thought I should get in on the act, but I haven't had a moment to myself all week. But right now, my man and my kids are out at the pool for about another 15 minutes, so I'm going to have to do this in one take. So here we go. Um, I'll give you a bit of background about my language and my accent. I live in Montreal right now, but I've only lived here for a little bit more than a decade. I moved here as an adult, so I don't really have a Montreal accent per se. I spent the first 27 years of my life in Nova Scotia, and I do have a very strong Nova Scotia accent when I'm not trying to temper it. When I'm back home, talking with my family or talking with my sister, the hard R's will come out and the accent will be a little bit stronger. But usually, living in Montreal, I've tried to temper it a little bit. But you may hear it come out when I use the R's. Anyway, okay, let me go through the list of words really quickly. I'm going to do a jillion here and have them on my phone. The list of words: aunt, root, wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water, shore, data. I'm a scientist, so I say data. Ruin, crayon, toilet, New Orleans, pecan, both, again, probably, spitting image, Alabama, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise, syrup, pajamas, and caught. And the list of questions. What's it called when you throw toilet paper on a house? As someone else said, I've never actually seen this happen. It's only in like John Hughes movies, but I've heard it called TPing a house. What's the bug that when you touch it, it curls into a ball? In Nova Scotia, we call it a pill bug or a sow bug, but I've learned from American friends that they call it roly-polies, which is what we call it now because kids think it's a funnier way to call it than sow bug or pill bug. What is the bubbly carbonated drink called? That's pop. What do you call gym shoes? Okay, this is quite a contentious one because living in a bilingual city, there's a lot of different words for gym shoes here. In Nova Scotia, I would have said sneakers, and that's the only word that people would use. But here, in French, they say espadrilles, which espadrilles in English actually means, wedges with rope around the sole. So it really confused me when I got my son's first school supply list, and it said he needed a pair of espadrilles for gym class. Didn't make any sense to me, so I had to ask some francophone friends. In French, they're called anything from running shoes to trainers, lots of words. Anyway, it's one of those words that always gets used as an example of a cultural quirk when you start talking about language in Montreal. What do you say to address a group of people? In English, I'd say you guys. In French, vous, of course. What do you call the kind of spider that has an oval-shaped body and extremely long legs? That's a daddy long legs. I don't know what we call it in French, actually. What do you call your grandparents? My paternal grandparents, actually both sets of grandparents were called nanny or puppy last name. My children call my parents Nana and Papa, and they call their paternal grandparents Grandmom and Oompa. Nanny and puppy is a very typical Nova Scotian way of calling your grandparents. And I find other parts of the country, people think it's a little bit odd, but that's where I grew up. What do you call the wheeled contraption in which you carry groceries? That's a supermarket. That's a shopping cart or a grocery cart. What do you call it when the rain falls while the sun is shining? That's a sun shower, and it's very common in Nova Scotia because it's raining and then clearing and then raining all the time. What is this thing you change the TV channel with? Remote control, remote, but in our family lexicon, we call it the controller. So that's it for the list. I should say I'm homesick today. That's why my voice is a little bit strange and why I have my hair back and I look like a member of the Khmer Rouge or something. Anyway, just like Jillian did, I'll give you a little tour of my sewing area, which is actually a corner of the TV/playroom/junk room. So I have a little corner here that's about 3 meters by 1 meter. That's 1 yard by 3 yards for the Americans. So this is my fabric stash back here. I have a lot of, I buy a lot of fabrics when I travel, and I also have a really, really good thrift shop in my village here. And I'm not going to tell you exactly where it is or what it's called because I don't want anyone else from Montreal coming and stealing all my fabric treasures. But I've got some great fabrics from Africa and Asia, and actually I should do a blog post about that, about all the great fabrics that I have from around the world. That's a good idea for a future blog post. This is my latest purchase, some laser cut pleather for when I was down in New York for a male pattern boldness day. And I've had it up there for a couple of weeks now trying to decide exactly what to do with a very small yardage. And then we look straight out onto a busy road here, so I always have the curtains closed for when I'm doing dressing and undressing for fitting. And there I have my next project, lady skater pattern and fabric all laid out, and then the rest of the room is so messy I'm not even going to turn it around and show you. Anyway, that's it. One take. Hopefully it makes sense, and I can't wait to listen to everybody else's. Bye.